Hey everybody, welcome back to WWE Universe. I'm your host Jitch and you are watching Friday Night SmackDown, which is of course the Fridayest show of the week. What can you expect here tonight on SmackDown? Well, we are going to be hearing from Stone Cold Steve Austin later on tonight, following the attack from The Undertaker, or at least what seems like The Undertaker. That's going to be coming up later on tonight. We've also got Shawn Michaels seeking revenge for his injured tag team partner, The Miz, injured Triple H last week. It turns out injuries may have been a little worse for Triple H than we thought from whatever happened to him backstage. He tried stepping up to face The Miz. He suffered worse injuries at the hands of The Miz, and so Shawn Michaels has looked for retribution. He's challenged Miz to a one-on-one match. That's our main event tonight. Also to come tonight, we're going to be seeing some competition. I believe The Rock is back and he is ready for action. He has challenged Justin Gabriel to a one-on-one match. We shall see what happens. Will Gabriel stand up and accept the challenge? Well, that's to come later on tonight. But first of all, kicking things off here tonight, we've got a Contenders match for Justin Gabriel's Light Heavyweight Championship.
The following contest is a fatal four-way match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, representing the Alliance.
At least hold the microphone up, dude. At least pretend you're talking. Well, Kofi Kingston coming out first here tonight. Interesting situation planned by the SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long for this four-way matchup. He has decided to put 4 former Cruiserweight / Light Heavyweight Champions in this match. Everyone in this match has held the title before.
Representing the Crew, from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 235 pounds, R-Truth.
This guy right here, R-Truth, is actually the man that Justin Gabriel won the championship from back at Hell in a Cell just over a month ago. So interesting matchup we got here tonight. That was an impromptu match added to Hell in a Cell. Truth has been frustrated that that match was even added to the show, as he feels he shouldn't have had to have been made to defend his championship on the spot like that. It also wasn't fair with Brie Bella at ringside. Mark Henry couldn't do anything. R-Truth couldn't do anything. The odds were stacked against R-Truth. He's insistent he can win his championship back, and he's planning on doing it tonight. See, the Crew not feeling too good coming off of Survivor Series, where they lost for the second time in a row, losing the Survivor Series style match.
From Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing 199 pounds, Tyson Kidd.
Hard pill to swallow sometimes when you take a tough loss, but I don't think it could have hit much harder than R-Truth's group. Mark Henry, R-Truth, and Booker T losing their second 6-man tag in a row, and I don't believe they eliminated a single member from Team Mysterio, which is Rey Mysterio, John Cena, and Eddie Guerrero. If you haven't heard the news from over on Monday Night Raw, the Divas division here on SmackDown is no more. They have all moved to Raw. You may be wondering to yourself, who's coming over to SmackDown? Well, don't get off your seats, don't get too excited, because it's just the Disciples of Darkness.
Weighing in at 214 pounds, Zack, Ryder.
Teddy Long had a good look up and down the SmackDown roster. He felt that the most necessary exchange between SmackDown and Raw would be that of perhaps some light heavyweight stars coming over here, some light heavyweight or cruiserweight stars coming over to SmackDown. He managed to pick out the team of Nemesis and Jetstar, the Disciples of Darkness, together. However, when looking over the roster, there wasn't really a lot to be desired in terms of light heavyweight stars. Obviously Yoshitatsu, but he's teaming with Ricky Steamboat right now, who doesn't quite fit into that category. This is an elimination 4-way matchup. Disqualifications are a thing, but falls do count anywhere, as is the rule with these multi-man matches, because you never know where they're going to wind up, and with there being no count out, we have to allow falls anywhere. Otherwise, the match will never get done. So we got the former champion Tyson Kidd up against former champion Kofi Kingston, and then you got former champion Zack Ryder up against former champion R-Truth. Now, we need to want to talk about the Light Heavyweight Championship. One thing that you can't ignore is the historical significance of Zack Ryder's reign as light heavyweight champion. Whether you're a lover or a hater of Zack Ryder, the man was one of the most successful Cruiserweight champions. I know I said light heavyweight. He never held the light heavyweight. I mean, it's kind of like a weird one to say. I mean, when you look at this match, the only ones that actually held the light heavyweight title were R-Truth and Tyson. No, R-Truth and Justin Gabriel were the only ones that held it so far. Because Truth won it from Tyson Kidd and then changed it to the light heavyweight championship. This is an interesting matchup here to find out who's going to be next in line for Justin Gabriel's championship. Obviously, Gabriel now a double champion here on SmackDown, holding the WWE Tag Team Championships. This is going to be an important match for Tyson Kidd after having just lost his Tag Team Championship with Christian to Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater last week in what was definitely one of the biggest and most important weeks in Justin Gabriel's career. From successfully screwing over The Rock once again to lighting a fire between him and Brie Bella, so to speak, to winning the Tag Team Championships. Last week was a really big week for Justin Gabriel. Be interesting to see the process of elimination. Of course, last year at Survivor Series in the inaugural Cruiserweight Championship match, it was Zack Ryder and Kofi Kingston who faced off to determine the first ever Cruiserweight Champion. So seeing those two in the ring with each other fighting for a shot at that title a year later is pretty significant. Kind of two classic rivalries here, R-Truth and Tyson Kidd, as well as Kofi Kingston and Zack Ryder. I feel like a lot of other people have held the Cruiserweight Championship that might actually be the complete list in this ring. Because I think it went from Zack Ryder to Kofi Kingston, back to Zack Ryder. And then from Ryder to, okay, Sin Cara held it at one point. And I think Sin Cara dropped it to Tyson Kidd quite quickly. And then Kidd lost it to Truth. So the only one who's not in this match is Sin Cara. But in case you're wondering why SmackDown didn't swipe any stars from ECW to help kind of build their roster up with the loss of the 6 women that they had, that is because ECW only has a roster of 15 people to begin with. SmackDown now has 26 male stars. ECW has 15 and Raw has 20, whereas Raw also has 14 women's stars on top, apparently. No, 13, sorry. 21 male stars on Raw and 13 women. Zack Ryder looking to get the cover here on Tyson Kidd. We got the first elimination, we do. Things have not been looking up for Tyson Kidd, and it looks like that's going to carry on. Backbreaker there by Zack Ryder as the triple threat situation now comes into play. This is where things get a little bit more strange, so to speak. Obviously one man always gets to kind of sit back and watch, pick his spots carefully, or just get in there the second he gets the chance, you know. Whatever ends up happening happens. Intercepted. Interestingly enough, every member of this 4-way match has some kind of alliance, whether it be Tyson Kidd and Christian, which are not only a tag team, but half of the faction, the Misfits, with John Morrison and the Miz, or you've got R-Truth, who is partnered with Mark Henry and Booker T and the Crew. You got Kofi Kingston, who's one half of the Altitude Alliance with Evan Bourne, and Zack Ryder, who is teaming with Alex Riley. Everyone here has got some kind of tag team partner, so this is just as significant to the tag division as it is to the singles. Of course, this is more significant for these guys right now, the light heavyweight championship, which is what it will put them in contention for. Justin Gabriel's never experienced holding 2 championships. It's not something a lot of superstars get to experience. But Justin managed to pull off a big one against Tyson Kidd and Christian, who are not due a rematch as they never actually successfully defended their tag team championships. So new contenders are to be sought out in the coming weeks on SmackDown. You've got 30 days until they have to defend those titles, and of course that is the issue that Tyson Kidd and Christian had, was they got a long reign. I think they were close to 60 days, but I believe they never successfully defended their tag team championships. as they were kind of let off with the build to bragging rights kind of taking precedence. I'm just going to go fact check what I just said, because I don't like spreading misinformation. Let's have a look here, shall we? I don't think they ever defended. Oh no, they have a successful defense. My mistake. Okay, well then they are due. Oh, that's right, they defended against Shawn Michaels and Jerry Lawler. That's right, yes. Yes, so they are due a rematch then. My bad. Well, they'll be first in line then. They got 30 days to decide when they're going to have that rematch, but they have to let Teddy Long know a week in advance. Which is basically my way of saying that it's not going to be happening next week. Crucifix roll up here by Kofi Kingston on Zack Ryder, and that was enough to get one of the biggest nemesises in Zack Ryder's career out. I mean, in Kofi Kingston's career, out of the ring, out of the match. Kofi Kingston seems to be on a roll right now. Sends R-Truth into the ropes. Yeah, you know, Zack Ryder, R-Truth, easily mistaken. And big trouble in paradise, but Kofi, of course, naturally does not go for the pin, because as we all know, pinning off of a finishing move is incredibly stupid. Coup de grace, beautiful move by Kofi Kingston, who could have won this match a while ago after hitting his trouble in paradise, but he just wants to hurt R-Truth more and more. Oh, I hope he doesn't. I hope he does like that neck breaker thing next. That'd be great. And then stomps from the top rope again. That'd be great too. Kofi, what are you doing? Kofi had this match won. Absolutely blew it. He loses now. He's only going to have himself to blame. Can't wait until the AI gets smart enough to pin off of finishers. What a great day that will be. Crucifix into the cover here on R-Truth. And realistically, after the trouble in paradise, all he needed to do was put his shoulders on the mat and he would have gotten the victory. So Kofi Kingston stands tall in this one. What a title shot he's got coming his way. Justin Gabriel, Kofi Kingston. That's a great match waiting to happen. Big congrats to Kofi Kingston on this big singles victory. The new contender to the light heavyweight championship, and R-Truth looking devastated as he came so close to getting a rematch. But in the end, it wasn't going to happen. Congratulations, Kofi Kingston. Oh, what we got going on here? No, fuck off.
Approaching the ring, Road Warrior and Road Warrior Animal.
Well, we are back here on SmackDown and we have got a tag team matchup. Of course, as I mentioned before, a new tag team coming here to SmackDown. The Disciples of Darkness, they are set to go 2-on-2 with the Road Warriors, who are continuing to try and get that spotlight on themselves to try and get in contention for the Tag Team Championships. And I'll tell you what, I mean this with all the due respect in the world, but if Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel ever have to get inside the ring with the Road Warriors, I think there could be some serious trouble for their Tag Team Championship reign before it even gets going. So they better hope that these guys aren't actually after any Tag Team titles anytime soon, and that they continue to just want the spotlight. Because whilst they want the spotlight, things are easy, things are manageable, you don't have to worry about it. But if they're gunning for 2 cruiserweights, well, I don't think Heath Slater's quite a cruiserweight, but he's not quite that high above light heavyweight. These 2 smaller guys are going to have a real tough time. I haven't updated their Titantron yet, don't give me shit.
And their opponents,
This was quite a last second decision, alright. Well, the Disciples of Darkness coming over here to SmackDown to join the light heavyweight division as both qualify, but also, whilst here, additionally a part of the tag division, which admittedly is something that's kind of taken a bit of a hit over on Raw. But nonetheless, they have made their move to SmackDown, where they now look to try and succeed in whatever ways they see fit. I mean, there's 2 championships they can contend for, at the very least. They have more of a division here. They're not just simply tag team wrestlers, and we've got quite a few people in the tag division. They're also in the light heavyweight division, you know, like every single person that was in that last match. We're starting things off with Nemesis up against Road Warrior Animal. I'll tell you what, Nemesis looks more like he's dressed to be a member of the Road Warriors than he is a team with his partner Jetstar. Ah, in perfect sync with each other there. I was initially going to play this match. I thought I'll just put the Road Warriors over, but I realized who they were up against. In case you're wondering why it is specifically these guys that the Road Warriors are up against, by the way, I had a look up and down the roster, and there was like no other tag teams available for them to fight. You know, I'll be completely open and honest with you guys. The only tag team that there was as an option otherwise were Eddie and Ray, who I wouldn't want to hurt the momentum of either the Road Warriors or Eddie and Ray, or the Crew. Booker and Mark Henry are still left over, who I wouldn't really want either team losing. I kind of want the Crew to be built up a little more, personally. You know, I'd like to see them succeed a little better. It was too much of like a winning situation, whereas in this one, okay, if the Disciples win, that is an upset. But their track record says that they don't normally win, so I felt comfortable putting them in this match for that. Obviously, I can't play it. That was kind of my rule, was I was just going to sit out any matches involving them. The only situation where I might actually play it regarding them is if either of them win a title, or if they win a title together, I might play some of the championship matches, just because I really hate, like, 1 month long, no successful defenses, reigns. I hate them. There's too many of them in Universe, because it's too easy to accidentally drop a championship, and I find that if you tend to let the game simulate a championship match, more often than not, it will lead to a title change. Like, they really like them. They're like fucking WCW and WWF in like the year 2000. They're like, title change? Yes, please. I think it was the year 2000 that there were loads. It might have been like 99 or something. I know that it's around the Attitude Era period that there are just a lot of title changes. Just looking at the history of the WWF title alone in that period, it was just like title change after title change. Or like the WWE Championship in like the year 2011 or 10, I can't remember which one it is. He is 11. It goes like Miz, Cena, Punk, Ray, Cena, Punk, Del Rio, Punk, something like that in like the space of like 8 months. One of my favorite time periods. I really enjoyed a lot of the stories that were going on around that time. I really look back at 2011 fondly. It's just like, you look at the title changes and, oh man. That was like a magic time period for me though. I was really enjoying a lot of what they were putting out at the time. Not my favorite. By far not my favorite. My favorite, I think, will always be like the 2006-2007 period, because that was when I first got into it. I was like mildly interested in 2005. As I say, Vengeance 2005 was my first show. But like I'd go like on and off watching them. It was not really that consistent. It was mostly just the pay-per-views as well. Like I didn't really follow along with like the weekly shows and stuff. It wasn't really until like 2006 or 7 that I started really getting into it. So that's like a really fond time in my memories. Although I do kind of fall in and out with it for a lot of the first few years I started watching. I'd pick it up, not like something they did, put it down, leave it, possibly come back later. I think I remembered hearing about something that happened in like 2009 and being like, wait, that did? I don't even remember. But also back then, you know, there was no other ways to watch the show. It was literally just, you had to watch it when it aired on TV. And if you live in the UK, you know the struggle of trying to watch a Raw or a SmackDown. Because they aired at like... Well, if you wanted to watch them live, they aired at 1 AM. And they finished at 4 AM. Or, no, was it 2 AM to 4 AM? Because I think Raw was originally 2 hours, wasn't it? So yeah, it was 2 AM to 4 AM. It always ended at 4 AM. It's just that it started earlier when they added the third hour. But it finished at the same time. And you always had to stay up until 4 AM to watch it. And not only that, but in order to watch it as well, you had to have Sky Sports, which is an extremely expensive channel package if you're a wrestling fan and do not give a fuck about a single other sport. Because you were paying like, I think it was like an extra 40 on the bill to watch one show twice a week. Very expensive. Very, very expensive. I mean, admittedly, over here in the UK, I know in the US, pay-per-views, before you had the WWE Network, pay-per-views were like $50. And over here, they're like £15. Like 50 to 15, that's quite a drastic change. Over here, they were quite cheap. And the pay-per-views, I think that's probably why I've seen more pay-per-views than I had weekly shows for quite a lot of my, I wouldn't say childhood, but like my teen years when I got into it. There's a little random, useless rant for me to go on. Ramble, even. It's not really a rant, I wasn't complaining. But every time I go back and I start watching the WWE Network again, which I do on very rare occasions, but occasionally I do, I'm trying to work my way through everything. So obviously it's a really, really slow process. I'm on like, I think I've just now hit 1988. Like I'm still a very long way away from anything familiar. I initially started watching some of it a few years back when I started Universe. A year ago I started Universe. It was a little before that. I started watching like some of the older stuff, but I was really skimming through. I was skipping like shows. I was skipping most of the matches. I was skipping like a majority of it and just watching like the main stuff. And I felt like I was missing a lot of it because of that. So I've kind of gone back to watch them in like full as much as I can. The only shows I'm not watching in full at the moment are the WCW ones, because whilst it's NWA WCW, now this might be sacrilege to some people, but I just don't find it very entertaining. I'm more interested in storylines and shit, and it's just straight up a motherfucking sport in the 80s, like, it's just a sports show, and it just doesn't really do anything for me. Not to mention that I don't really care about a lot of the roster that I had at that time period either. So yeah, there's some of that, and every time I'm watching it in the 80s, I'm like, oh, this is enjoyable. Now that they've added Saturday night's main events from that time period, it's a lot better because it's not just like pay-per-view after pay-per-view. There's like so much more build. I'm like actually finding myself caring about like a lot more characters. Not that I ever disliked a lot of the people I'm interested in. It's just now I'm finding like new admiration for them, like Randy Savage or Roddy Piper. It's just like you get to see so much more of them, and it's better. I always enjoyed them, but getting to see them like on those shows is way better. Yes. In regards to like what I'm rambling about though, is like I'm constantly like looking forward to when I hit like 2005, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember this. I'm really looking forward to that feeling, but I don't want to just jump to it. I want to get that naturally. Monday, huh? Monday. I haven't spoken about this match at all, by the way. Don't worry, I'm aware. Sometimes I like to just talk about other stuff. I don't always feel like talking about a match, you know. There's not really a story involved in this match. This is just a tag match, just for some momentum, to get them on the show. I mean, admittedly, Nemesis was on Raw this week, so this is double booking for him. But as I say, they were the only tag team that made any sense to put on the show. It's the only reason I did it. It's not because I'm trying to like desperately put them over or anything. I actually kind of cringe when they win because I feel guilty that they won. Even though I'm like sitting out every single one of their matches. But that's why I am, because like even if I wanted to put them over, I couldn't. I just feel so stupid doing it. I remember how I felt in the original Universe series whenever I like actually played their matches, because I would back then. I'd always just feel like such a dick. Like, if they ever become main eventers, I want it to be on their own accord. A little like Tiny Shiny. Just kind of succeeded on her own. And now she's one of the main women on Raw. Well, now Raw is the only brand, but at the time she was like one of the main women on Raw. Now she's just one of the main women in general. You know, the current women's champion, Beth Phoenix, she's already got a victory. Oh, wow. I like that. That was a good little reversal there. I mean, I made this moveset, but you forget what's in it sometimes. I see some of the moves Nemesis does, and I'm like, that was really cool. Stop tagging out. Man, I hate the AI in tag matches in this game. I know it gets better. I know it does. You know, I remember marking out like every single tag team match in 2K19. And I know it gets better in like 13 and 14 too. I mean, okay, they like to heel turn all the time, but it gets better. I know it does. Well, the Road Warriors won, and I'm actually quite relieved, because they're clearly on the road to something big. Tough loss for the Disciples of Darkness. What a harsh way to make their SmackDown debut. I think for Nemesis, this is actually a SmackDown return. I believe he debuted on SmackDown originally. Got drafted to Raw, and now he's back on SmackDown. I think. But anyway, a big victory for them, and up next, The Rock has issued a challenge to the other guy, you know his name, Justin Gabriel, the light heavyweight champion, the tag team champion. He's issued a challenge. We're not quite sure what kind of a match this is. It's just The Rock has demanded that he meets him face to face, and that is going to happen in the ring. Up next, I would like to think. Alright, this man has been screwed around with for far too long. He just wants some justice. He wants to take down Gabriel one more time. The Rock is ready. The Rock wants that victory. I mean, The Rock is not even in the league of, you know, the light heavyweight championship. There's not a lot he can really do with Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater and Brie Bella and all that. Like, this whole situation doesn't really benefit him. He's not a tag team wrestler. He's got no ally. The Rock is a singles competitor who is clearly focused on trying to become the WWE champion. He's got this roadblock in his way at the moment, and I think he just wants to take care of it. I guess we'll see. Here he comes. He's answered the call. Not unified. Not unified. There are no unified tag team titles. There are World Tag Team and WWE Tag Team. And Justin Gabriel holding up that new Tag Team Championship. Clearly very proud to be holding that championship. Obviously the Light Heavyweight Championship still means a lot to Justin Gabriel. But as you know, this one kind of, it brings him to a whole other division. A lot of people think that he had the cap, that he can only win a championship that was within his weight division. So to hold one that's open to everyone, it means a lot to Gabriel. Whether you love or hate him, that is an important championship victory for him. Seems pretty damn proud of it, doesn't he? with all the damage that has been done to The Rock through Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel striking him with those steel chairs last week. Him clearly being drugged or something the week prior. You can't imagine The Rock... Oh, no. You can't imagine The Rock is at 100% is what I was going to say, but look at this. Heath Slater. Oh, God. Got him. Slater picking him up. Come on. Justin, I'm helping you, man. Come on. Justin. Justin, we don't have much time. No. That's not what I meant to do. Justin. No, don't attack Heath. That's your partner. Well, this is a 2-on-1. The referee is down and out. Heath Slater. Oh, got him again. And Heath Slater heading on over to the referee after having struck down The Rock twice with his finishing move. And yeah, we're getting a nice slow count from the ref. He's very worn out, but that's a victory. I wouldn't say it's a very deserved victory, but it's a victory for Justin Gabriel. Kind of makes you sick, doesn't it? The Rock continues to get screwed again and again and again by Justin Gabriel, who's now picked up a victory over The Rock. As we move towards our main event, though, up next, we have got The Miz up against Shawn Michaels. Obviously, a big opportunity for Michaels. If he can beat The Miz, that's a WWE Championship opportunity waiting to happen. Let's just hope he's in the right mindset and capable of doing so. But up next, though, we are going to hear from Stone Cold Steve Austin, who is ready with our interviewer Jerry Lawler backstage with some comments on what happened last Sunday at Survivor Series when the lights went out and he was taken out by what we think may have been The Undertaker. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm SmackDown welcome back to Stone Cold. Austin, last Sunday at Survivor Series, you were inches from winning the WWE title. But suddenly, The Undertaker's music hits. The lights go out, they come back on, and you're bleeding it out cold. Could you tell us exactly what went down when the lights went out? Listen, all I know is one thing. The man who struck me down really was him. The Undertaker attacked me last night with a steel chair. The Miz may be one sneaky SOB, but he doesn't have the balls to pull what happened. Taking it alone, and I know he's got his little list of people who wronged him. But listen up, you big dead dumbass. You mess with the rattlesnake, he puts you down. Alright, main event time. Some interesting words from Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is certain that the man that attacked him was in fact The Undertaker himself. What business he's got with Stone Cold Steve Austin, why he'd want to pull something like that. All things that are kind of to be answered. But Stone Cold Steve Austin said it. He said it loud and he said it clear. He is in strong belief that it was in fact The Undertaker who took him out. Focusing now on this matchup here, Shawn Michaels going one-on-one with The Miz, a former WWE Champion Shawn Michaels. Obviously he's got a lot to gain from a victory over The Miz here tonight. Will he be able to get that big win? You know, a lot of this is for Triple H. A lot of this is for the honor and the respect that he has for his tag team partner who was injured and taken out backstage. But some of it, at the very least, is got to be for the opportunity that presents itself if Shawn Michaels gets the win. You know, he can say he's as concerned as can be about Triple H, and we can believe it all, but something in him just knows the opportunity that's in front of him. Miz absolutely knows Shawn Michaels is after his WWE Championship. Shawn Michaels knows, and deep down in his heart, he wants that WWE Championship. As much as this is about Triple H, this is about the opportunity presented to Shawn Michaels to get a victory over the WWE Champion, who somehow managed to weasel his way out of a title defense against Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know if it was dumb luck or if he paid The Undertaker. Stone Cold has a good point. He does in fact have a list of people who have wronged him, so oh! The referee's been knocked out. I don't really know what kind of a difference that makes in this match. Was the Miz going to get one of his Misfits to come out and help? Well, hold on a minute. Shawn! Oh! Shawn Michaels taking a moment to use his buddy Triple H's signature weapon, the sledgehammer, to get some quick damage in on the Miz. This is your standard singles match. Shawn Michaels claims he's not sure who to believe about what happened to Triple H in the first place that was the injury. Obviously, top suspects include the Misfits and to some extent Jerry Lawler. It really is a bit of a whodunit situation. We don't know. But I'll tell you what, this has definitely changed the pace of things. That sledgehammer will have done some serious early damage to the Miz. A very smart move by Michaels to capitalize on the Miz's, I would say, mistake, but I think it was deliberate. I think the Miz may have been planning to do exactly what Michaels did. He just beat him to it. Standing proud as one half of D-Generation X. Look at that big knee drop. Is that going to be enough to put the Miz away? In a minute and a half. That would be nuts. You see, the Miz has found some dumb luck ways to overcome multiple situations so far in his WWE Championship reign. He screwed The Rock, thanks to some help from Justin Gabriel and Brie Bella, even though he wasn't planning on it. He had no idea that was going to happen. And then he managed to... I did not reach any ropes. And then he managed to screw over... And then he managed to screw over Stone Cold Steve Austin this last Sunday at Survivor Series with a distraction from The Undertaker that he wasn't planning on. The Miz has gotten real lucky in his WWE Championship reign. I don't think anything's going to help him if Shawn Michaels gets a victory, though. This man is hell-bent on hurting The Miz and getting that victory. This is a very determined side of Shawn Michaels. Tried, but he missed. Oh! That was quick.
Don't underestimate this. Oh, look out! Oh, right between the eyes.
Big knee lift across the face and...
Miz. Oh, he's going for
oh wow, rake in the eyes. Shawn Michaels. Miz now getting a lot of offense in on Shawn. He's decided to take a very quick approach with every move that he connects with, not wasting any time. Perhaps he's now starting to realize the seriousness of the opponent he's up against. Miz has had to deal with a lot of heavyweights, a lot of hard hitters. He's not had to deal with someone kind of the same size and stature of himself. Miz might actually be the bigger built guy between these two looking at them. Oh, that one. Shawn Michaels roll over onto his back. Miz going for the cover. No.
Whoa, that might shut Miz up. Intercepted.
Interestingly enough, Miz, with all the allies that he's got, you know, Tyson Kidd's been in competition earlier tonight, but I noticed there is no appearance from John Morrison nor Christian in this matchup. I find that very suspicious for some reason. Perhaps the Miz felt he could take Shawn Michaels on his own.
Oh, look at this.
Keeps going in for those pin attempts.
And there's
Seems pretty damn obsessed with trying to get the victory over Michaels nice and quick.
That big right hand driven right into the rib cage. Now taking a moment to feel those ribs.
And again, see? Obsessed. Trying so hard just to get the count. It's going to take a lot more than that to put away Shawn Michaels.
And the Miz gets out of it unscathed.
Cover attempt again. Miz, as I say, fixated. Got his eyes on a certain prize here, and that prize is just pinning Michaels. And again.
He thinks he has it, and he gets the shoulder up. Shawn Michaels will just throw caution to the wind in this one. You can be sure of
Michaels striking away at the Miz.
that. Hard right. You know, if he keeps that up, he might jam his finger.
What's the Miz looking to do here? Miz holding those ribs. You can tell that where the sledgehammer struck really has affected the Miz. Michaels back up to his feet. Of course, no. There you go.
He's in desperation here.
Catches him.
Shawn Michaels is rolling.
And got him.
Isn't better Michaels going to work. And again, the show
Is this going to be enough? Got the elbow drop, but he's not kipping up. Normally Shawn Michaels would come flying back up. Wow, really? Another trophy I really thought I would have had by now. Miz to his feet. Michaels. Oh, no. Miz shoving him off.
Oh, look at that forearm. Whoa!
Any man's game now.
Miz got
Michaels' game plan has been completely thrown off. You could tell he was going for the sweet chin music, but the Miz was just able to get to his feet nice and quick. Michaels shoves the Miz off, and big elbow to the back of the head.
Shawn Michaels is such a technician. He's been
And
around
Michaels
so
shoving him.
long,
Oh, there it is.
to every hole.
Caught the Miz with the sweet chin music. Is this seriously going to be enough?
1, 2.
And Shawn Michaels has just pinned the WWE Champion here on SmackDown.
What an incredible
Have we just found out
either way.
who the #1 contender is for TLC?
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
I think we very well have. Just pinned the WWE Champion. Why wouldn't it be? Shawn Michaels should absolutely be the man in the front running for a WWE title opportunity at TLC. For a well-deserved victory. That's going to make Triple H proud. This man doing it all for his tag team partner. And he gets the victory and possibly the #1 contendership for the WWE Championship. There's a lot of people in the running for that right now. Stone Cold Steve Austin never got a fair shot. The Rock never got a fair shot. Something's got to be done, but it is Shawn Michaels who has the most recent victory over The Miz, and I think that's going to matter in the long run. Regardless of that, we now move on. I will see you guys towards the very end of November as we tune in for Raw and ECW, and the next time we're here on SmackDown, it will be the final month of the year, so maybe we should start thinking about those Slammy nominations. What kind of Slammy awards would you like to see? Obviously, we got Breakout Star of the Year, Superstar of the Year, Diva of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Match of the Year. Those are all things. And who would you make eligible for each one? Why don't you write down below so we've got enough time to find this out when the time comes. For now, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys on Raw.